Welcome, everyone. Today, we're going to dive deep and pull back the curtain on the hidden world of online pricing. Now, whether you're just a curious consumer or, more importantly, a future business leader, understanding the forces that determine the price you see on your screen, well, it's absolutely critical in today's economy. So let's get right into it.
So, has this ever happened to you? You're booking a hotel, you find what looks like a great deal, you text your friend to check it out, and they see a completely different price. Is it a glitch? No way. It's a very deliberate strategy, and it's all powered by a classic economic principle that has been absolutely supercharged by modern technology and big data.
For decades, managers faced this huge, fundamental problem. They all learned about price elasticity of demand in their business school classes. The core idea that you should base your price on how sensitive your customer is, but they had no real way to measure it. They were basically pricing in the dark, making educated guesses about what people were truly willing to pay.
This slide really just captures the incredible shift that's happened. Think about it. We've gone from an era of high uncertainty and static, one-price-fits-all models to an age of razor-sharp, data-driven precision. Today, the price can literally be tailored to you as an individual in real time. From a manager's perspective, this isn't just a small improvement, it is a complete revolution in revenue strategy.
So you have to ask, what made this revolution possible? The internet, of course. But more specifically, it was the rise of certain platforms that became these massive, real-time economic laboratories. And the true pioneers in this field? The online travel agencies, or OTAs.
Right, so when you think of a site like Booking.com, you probably just see a marketplace, a place to find a hotel. But if you look at it from a business analysis perspective, it's something so much more powerful. It's a data-gathering engine. It tracks millions of user interactions every single second, constantly running A/B tests and other experiments to precisely measure how even the tiniest change in price affects a consumer's decision to buy.
So, how exactly do these digital laboratories decode our behavior? What are they looking for? Well, they rely on a few key metrics that act as proxies, or you can think of them as indirect signals to figure out our sensitivity to price. Let's break down the most important ones.
Okay, the first and most basic signal is the click-through rate, or CTR. Just imagine you're scrolling through a long list of hotels. That initial price is right there, front and center. Do you even bother to click to see more details? That simple action, or just as importantly, the lack of that action, is the algorithm's very first piece of evidence about how you're reacting to that price.
Let's make this really concrete. Let's walk through a scenario. Imagine a hotel manager decides to raise the nightly rate by just $5. Seems pretty tiny, right? Almost insignificant. Well, let's see what the data shows.
That tiny $5 increase causes the number of people clicking on that hotel's link to drop by a staggering 50%. Think about that. Half of the potential customers are immediately turned off and scroll right past. For the manager, the feedback from the market is instant, and it is absolutely brutal.
Now, a number like that sends a powerful, blinking red light signal to the platform's algorithm. Demand for this hotel is highly elastic. In other words, its customers are extremely sensitive to price, and the consequence for the manager is immediate. The platform's algorithm, which is optimized for one thing, making sales, might actually penalize that hotel by pushing it down in the search rankings, making it even less visible to future customers.
But of course, clicking isn't the same as buying. A click doesn't pay the bills. That brings us to our next crucial metric, the conversion rate. Of all the people who are interested enough to click, how many actually follow through and complete the booking? This is what measures the true intent to buy at that specific price point.
So let's say a hotel gets a really high click-through rate, but a very low conversion rate. The manager learns something incredibly important. Potential customers are drawn in by the pictures, the location, the description, but they're backing out at the very last step. When that happens, right after a price hike, it's a dead giveaway. The price is the barrier. Demand is once again elastic.
Now for our third key metric, and honestly, this one is just brilliant. It's called the booking window. It's simply the amount of time between when you make a booking and your actual arrival date. To an algorithm, this is a powerful proxy for a customer's urgency, which, as you know, is directly tied to their price sensitivity.
And this slide just lays out the logic perfectly. If you're booking a family vacation 6 months in advance, you've got time. You can shop around, compare options, wait for a deal. Your demand is elastic. But what if you're booking a room for tonight? Maybe your flight was canceled. You're in a hurry. You have very few options. Your demand is inelastic, and you can bet the algorithm knows you'll probably pay more. So we have these key data points: clicks,
conversions, and timing. The final act, the grand finale, is to see how the system synthesizes all of this information to create a dynamic price tag, one that's built just for you.
This is the end game of all that data collection. The whole goal is to move away from the old, static, one-price-fits-all model and into this new world of dynamic, personalized pricing, where the price you see is based on the digital breadcrumbs you've left behind. Let's really look at how this plays out with a real-world scenario. Let's take user A. They're planning ahead, browsing on a Tuesday afternoon for a trip 3 months away. The algorithm sees this behavior and identifies their demand as elastic. The strategy? Show them a deal to lock in that early sale. Now consider user B. They're browsing on a Friday night, and their phone's GPS shows they're just a block away from the hotel. Their demand is immediately inferred to be inelastic and urgent. The strategy here? Show them a higher price because the system is confident they'll pay it. The result is the same room for the same night with 2 very different prices.
And the key takeaway here, for all of you, is that this is not science fiction. This is the real-world application of microeconomic theory, happening millions of times a day on the apps we all use. It represents a fundamental shift away from pricing for the average customer to creating a unique, specific price just for you.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating and complex question. From a pure business perspective, this is efficiency perfected. It's maximizing revenue. But from a consumer standpoint, is a price that's built on your personal data and your perceived urgency truly fair? That is something to think about the next time you click book.